Season 3 is over. And if you thought the Dance of the Dragons was finally reaching its breaking point, the finale just proved the opposite. Because House Targaryen isn't heading toward peace. It's heading toward its most destructive chapter yet. The Season 3 finale left Rhaenyra sitting closer to absolute power than ever before. While Helaena is dead, Tumbleton has been reduced to chaos. Aegon is still a threat, and the people surrounding the Iron Throne are becoming more desperate by the day. And there's one more detail that makes Season 4 different from everything we've seen before. This will be the final season of House of the Dragon. So today, we're breaking down 7 things you need to know before the final chapter begins. And trust me, the future of Westeros is about to get much darker. Number 1. Season 4 is the end. Let's start with the biggest confirmed fact. Season 4 will be the final season of House of the Dragon. Ryan Condal has confirmed that the series will conclude with its 4th season, and HBO has announced that the final season is planned for 2028. That changes the way we should look at everything that happened in Season 3. There isn't an endless number of seasons left to slowly resolve these characters. The story has to move toward its conclusion. And that means the choices made in the finale aren't just set up for another chapter. They're set up for the ending. Rhaenyra's transformation, Aegon's survival, Aemond's instability, Daemon's military campaign, the Dragonseeds, Helena's final prophecy. All of these threads are now pointing toward the same destination, the end of the dance. And that brings us to the second thing. Number 2, Rhaenyra has become much more dangerous. At the beginning of the story, Rhaenyra wanted to be queen because she believed the throne belonged to her. By the end of Season 3, something has changed. She no longer sees herself simply as a claimant. She sees herself as someone chosen by destiny. In the finale, Rhaenyra publicly invokes the Targaryen prophecy and claims a messianic role for herself. And that moment matters because it gives her something incredibly dangerous, certainty. Rhaenyra now believes that her rule isn't simply politically necessary. It's part of a larger destiny. That means Season May 4th not show us the same Rhaenyra we knew in Season 1. The grief is still there. The anger is still there. But now they're mixed with absolute conviction. And when a ruler believes the future of the world depends on them personally, there are very few limits left. Number 3. Aegon is still a problem. For a while, it looked like Aegon's story was finished. His body was broken. His position was destroyed. And his own family had moved on without him. But Season 3 changed that. Aegon survived. Sunfire survived. And suddenly the Green Cause has something it desperately needs. A symbol. Aegon doesn't need to defeat Rhaenyra immediately. He only needs to survive long enough to become a rallying point. And that's exactly why his survival matters. The war isn't simply about armies anymore. It's about which claimant can convince the realm that their opponent has no legitimate future. Rhaenyra believes destiny belongs to her. Aegon has the traditional argument of male inheritance. And as long as both remain alive, the war cannot truly end. Which leads directly to Aemond. Number 4. Aemond's story is heading toward a breaking point. Aemond began the series as the brother who wanted respect. Now he's one of the most dangerous men in Westeros. But Season 3 has also shown us something unexpected. Aemond isn't completely fearless. He's carrying guilt. He's carrying anger. And he's beginning to realize that the war he helped create is becoming impossible to control. Vhagar gives him enormous power. But power isn't the same thing as control. And that's the central problem facing Aemond in Season 4. He can burn armies. He can destroy castles. He can terrify entire kingdoms. But none of that guarantees victory. Eventually, Aemond is going to have to confront someone who can't simply be intimidated. And when that happens, the biggest question won't be whether Vhagar is stronger. It will be whether Aemond can survive the consequences of his own decisions. Number 5. The Dragonseeds have changed the war forever. This may be one of the most important developments from Season 3. Rhaenyra needed more dragons. So she turned to people with Targaryen blood who had never been part of the royal family. It seemed like a brilliant strategy. But then came Tumbleton. Ulf's betrayal showed exactly why giving dragons to inexperienced riders was so dangerous. One dragon can change a battle. One dragon can destroy a city. and one dragon rider can change sides. That's the nightmare Rhaenyra created. Her greatest military advantage now contains a built-in weakness. The Dragonseeds don't have the same loyalty as the old Targaryen nobility. They have their own ambitions, their own grudges, their own reasons for fighting. And Hugh Hammer's reaction to Tumbleton suggests that not every Dragonseed will follow the same path as Ulf. So Season 4 could turn the Dragonseeds into one of the most unpredictable forces in the entire war. Number 6. Helena's final warning matters. Helena's death may have been the most haunting moment of the finale. But her death wasn't the end of her story. Her final tapestry is the real mystery. It depicts her death, but it also points toward what may happen to Rhaenyra. A queen surrounded by blood, a throne surrounded by fire, and a future that seems almost impossible to escape. Whether you interpret Helena's visions as genuine prophecy or symbolic storytelling, the message is clear. The characters are moving toward a future they may not be able to stop. And the most tragic part? Rhaenyra sees the warning, but she closes the shutters. She chooses not to look. That may be the perfect symbol for Season 4. The future is right in front of her, and she chooses to keep moving anyway. Number 7. The final war is going to be about more than the Iron Throne. This is the biggest thing you need to understand. The Dance of the Dragons started as a succession dispute, but by Season 4, it has become something much larger. It's about revenge. It's about prophecy. It's about survival. It's about whether House Targaryen can survive its own obsession with power. And that's why the final season could be the most brutal chapter of the entire series. Every major character has something to lose. Rhaenyra has the throne. Aegon has his claim. Aemond has his legacy. Daemon has his family. The Dragonseeds have their newfound power. And the realm has already paid an enormous price. The final season doesn't need to convince us that the dance is dangerous. Season 3 already did that. Now it has to show us what happens when there is almost nothing left to lose. And here's the most important thing to remember. The title of this story has always been House of the Dragon. Not House of Rhaenyra. Not House of Aegon. Not Team Black. Not Team Green. The tragedy is House Targaryen itself. A family that once ruled Westeros because of its dragons, slowly destroys itself because of them. Season 4 is where that tragedy finally reaches its conclusion. And after the Season 3 finale, one question is impossible to ignore. Can Rhaenyra win the Iron Throne without destroying the person she became to claim it? Because if Helena's final vision is pointing toward the future, Rhaenyra may already be walking toward the ending. She just hasn't realized it yet. And when the final season arrives, there may be no one left to save House Targaryen from itself.